Cool. We should be live. So yeah, just to start, I'm Ella. I'm Molecule Scientific Communicator. I am sure some of you are sick of seeing my face by now. This is my third researcher talk that I've done this week. But I feel like I'm hitting a groove now. But yes, basically, the function of this series is we have a little fireside chat with a researcher that is currently looking to fundraise through DeSci. And we just learn a little bit more about their research, why they do what they do. And yeah, it's just a kind of an opportunity for the community to get involved, chat to the researcher. We do have it set up so that any questions posted pipe through to where we're streaming from. So if you have any questions for Mario, please don't hesitate to send them into the chat and we can ask him. But yeah, I mean, so as a little intro, Mario was a researcher who was funded by AthenaDAO, and then that research contract was brought on chain using Molecules technology. So that's kind of how we fit in to this system here. But Laura and Mario worked closely together. They've been developing the project. Laura is the core lead at AthenaDAO, and sort of they've had some good data come out, and now they're doing an additional fundraise using the IPT, which are intellectual property tokens, using that mechanism. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what that work is and how you can get involved if you would like to get involved. But before we kick off, I think we should just do introductions. So Laura, I would love it if you could introduce yourself and then also explain, obviously, what is AthenaDAO's cause and what drives you guys.
Hi, my name's as Ella said, my name is Laura Minkini. I'm the founder and core lead of AthenaDAO. We are the decentralized community funding women's health research, education, and access. We're very excited to be here today. This is a long story of how Mario was our very first IP NFT. So he was the first funded research that happened through the AthenaDAO pipeline. We're very excited because his research has come to fruition much faster than the milestone predicted with in vivo data. For people who don't understand, in vivo data is very important because usually it's in vitro, which is in the Petri dish, and in vivo is in a live animal model. So this means that we are much, much closer to a molecule. The reason we wanted to do this as an IPT, we have the funding for Mario in our own treasury, but we thought it was important that DeSci show how they care for women and women's health, and that they do value the important. It was so important that we showed DeSci had an in vivo actual success that we said, why don't we do this as an IPT? We have the funding, but it would be cool if the community gets in. It's a very good opportunity in the sense that some research is 10 years ago, maybe 100 years. 10 years in the future, 100 years in the future. With Mario, we're talking about 3 years, 5 max right now. So anybody who participates right now will be able to actually see their participation come to fruition very fast. And that's why we thought, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of chat in DeSci right now. There's a lot of chat of funding mechanisms. So we think this is a really great way of showing how DeSci can fund science. And that's why we did it this way, that we thought, let's share this. Let's not keep it to ourselves. This could be solely or IP NFT, but why do we not share this with the community and get them to rally behind us? We're very excited because Mario also has had a lot of traction before this. How he got here is actually quite, it took a lot of work. So we came in at the right time when he came to us, and everything is advancing really fast. Further to this, what he's working on, inflammation, could be also utilized for other areas of research, not just ovarian aging. So it's a broader opportunity for everyone in the ecosystem in decentralized science. But I'm going to let Mario talk about the science. And for anybody that's interested to learn more, we have AMA tomorrow on our Discord as well. We're this whole week doing events. It's on Thursday. Go to our Discord, go to our social media on X or Instagram. We have a Linktree AthenaDAO, and the AMA will go over the how to participate on the fertility acceleration auction. It's how to FAAC or how to fact. So it's going to be really fun. Mario's not going to be there, but it's really about how you get it done and why it matters and what the opportunity is in terms of seeing the science at work when you join this when you join our Discord and start having those chats with Mario even. So Mario, thank you so much, and we're very excited about this. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Laura, and thank you very much, Ella. My name is Mario Cordero. I'm a scientist from the Universidad Pablo de Olavide in Sevilla, principal investigator of the project about the ovarian aging in this university. I think one of the little groups in Andalusia, in the south of Spain, doing research about the ovarian aging. So I think all these ideas about to work about the inflammation in the ovarian aging is very important for us, and I think for everybody. I studied medicine before. After finished medicine, study human nutrition and complete my PhD about the inflammation complex in chronic pain. And then to this, I did several postdoctoral stays in different places in Spain and UK, and Newcastle University and Glasgow University. And then to finish all this travel and work in other countries, I established my group in the Universidad Pablo de Olavide to start all this project about the ovarian aging.
Super cool. I think, first of all, I have one thing before we jump in, which is I have to do it. Where is it? Just as a reminder to everyone that nothing on this call should be considered investment advice. We don't endorse any claims made by the researcher. Their opinions are their own, and we provide the platform solely for discussion purposes, which we must do. But more so, Mario, I would love if you could explain what is ovarian aging.
Ovarian aging of our group or the project?
Ovarian aging.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It's my accent. I'm South African.
Okay. I think everybody knows what is the aging. It's a significant event in the life. It's very important and associated to the life, and also associated to the death. During the aging, we live the different damage in different organs and different tissues. But the problem is the damage in these tissues in where the aging is more accelerated or start before to compete with other tissues. For example, the cardiovascular aging is more associated to the normal biological aging, about 60, 61, 65 years old. But the ovary is one of the most important tissues where the aging start very, very before to the normal aging competing with the other tissues. When we talk about the ovarian aging, we don't talk only about the ovarian aging in the tissue of the ovary. We talk about the endocrinology, physiopathology, pathophysiology. We talk about the consequence in social problematic of the fertility. We talk about the menopause, perimenopause, and the cardiovascular and metabolic and neurodegenerative risk of the woman during the menopause. So ovarian aging is a very significant, important event in the life of the woman, and we need to study how it's possible to produce this accelerated ovarian aging, and how can to stop, how can to make possible to do possible the reduction of this accelerated ovarian aging, and how can to treat the people. For me, to treat the people for two reasons. First, to reduce the different human age-related diseases, which is more significant in the woman in more early age. The second reason is to start to think about the get pregnant in age where the woman need to when the woman feel ready to get pregnant, after finish, for example, university career, work, PhD, I think the woman need to get pregnant when she wants, and not when the biological age wants. So for these two reasons, I think it's very important to study the ovarian aging and get the tool to finish with this ovarian aging and stop the ovarian aging.
So
I just wanted to add something quickly here, Ella, and something that we talk a lot about at AthenaDAO is, for instance, there is like a very big lack of fertility awareness, not only with men, also women. Women don't know, and I didn't know this until 4 years ago, that your ovary is twice as old as you are by the time you're 35. So super crucial thing. That's why it's horrible to call it geriatric pregnancy, but that's the only word. I mean, this is all going to change the language, but that's why women that are having a baby post 35, after 35 years old, it's quote unquote that horrible word, geriatric pregnancy. But one really huge thing that we want to contextualize is that ovarian aging is related to menopause. One day we're going to be able to decouple the fertility side and things, and then there's just the aging part of thing. But even though all women are going to go through menopause and ovarian aging is going to happen to us, we always talk about how even though there is a $600 billion opportunity, because women are willing to spend $60,000 up to $70,000 in their quote unquote menopause journey, there's only 10% of the NIH funding research that goes into female-specific conditions, and biopharma only spends, now it's up to almost 3% of their R&D in female-specific conditions. So even though, and also the other thing is a very famous researcher, Dr. Jennifer Garrison, she does the rounds in the longevity conferences, talks about how the ovary would be a great model to study aging because it's a much shorter lifespan. Right, Mario? However, we're not doing this. We're also not putting much funding. So there is a huge market gap, but there's a lot of low-hanging fruits. And why we're very excited with Mario's project is that low-hanging fruits with a lot of potential high impact, because women want solutions for ovarian aging.
Yeah.
Definitely, Laura. Mario, you mentioned that women should be able to choose when they want to have a child.
Yeah.
I know we were speaking earlier before this call that your daughter has just turned 7. I would love you to tell us a little bit more about her and your journey in having her and why this research means so much to you.
Yes, Martina is my daughter. My wife and me, Elizabeth, my wife and me, was waiting 7 years to get pregnant. Was really, really, really hard for us. We got a lot of problem, but all these problem were not only a biological problem. For me, the more significant problem which I had, I saw my wife had, was the psychological problem. I remember many moments or many times in where I was crying when we saw different families with the children playing, or different father or mother playing with the doctor or the boys, the child in the family. This is really hard. And when we start the different fertility treatment, was more hard because I had to see the different problem, biological and physiological problem, which had my wife during the pharmacological treatment to get pregnant. And during 7 years, we had a lot of treatment and never had never get pregnant. So for me, during this time, was very hard to see this situation in my wife and me and think, I have to do something about this. And I only know to do one thing, research. In these times, it's very interesting this history, because in this time we find one mice in our animal facility with NLP3 knockout mice. The more old female mice get pregnant after I remember after 15 months old. So we think, wow, in this strain is very difficult to get pregnant after 9 months. With 15 months, it's very impossible. So I think this could be. I like to think that this was a serendipity, because in the same time we find that the mice with NLP3 knockouts have high level of ovarian reserve and high a very high, a very good possibility to get pregnant. My wife get pregnant. So after 7 years, we got two very interesting things. My Martina, my love, and my princess. And the second thing was one possibility to find a target to attack, to get pregnant the people.
That is an amazing story, and
Thank you.
I agree. It does sound like serendipity. And I also, as a woman, obviously, as kind of Laura was saying, you know, we are not taught that much about our fertility and have these issues that are sort of looming up on us. And so I'm very grateful that your one mouse popped up and that you could investigate it further. So we've spoken a lot about fertility, but I know, having sort of read some more about this project, is that there are also links to menopause. And I know one of AthenaDAO's big sort of mission statements is that it's not centered around fertility, it is all women's health. And so I'd love to know a little bit more, aside from the fertility, how your research fits into menopause.
Yes, because this was for two things. The first thing was because after the ovarian aging, we have the menopause. It's an evident event which every woman have to live or have to suffer. And if I think if we can do something to stop the ovarian aging, or not stop but delay the ovarian aging, probably we can delay the menopause. And during this time we have time to get more target to finish with the problematic of the menopause. For me, there is two important things during the problematic of the menopause, and I am living these two things in my wife now. My wife have a lot of symptoms associated with this with the menopause, and the other problem is the different human diseases associated to the menopause. For example, the cardiovascular risk, the metabolic risk, or the neurodegenerative risk. I would like to avoid this for my wife or for everybody. So,
for Martina.
For Martina in the future, of course. And I think menopause and ovarian aging go together. So it's important when you study about ovarian aging, you have to study about the menopause. It's impossible to study about the ovarian aging and forget the menopause.
I wanted to add something here because there's a frame of thought that menopause is natural, right?
Yeah.
So that there's a lot of very vocal voices saying that menopause is natural. We shouldn't medicalize women. We shouldn't make them feel like they need to change anything. It's not about that. It's about choice. For the women that want to do yoga and put incense to feel better through menopause, they should. And for the women that want other solutions, we should have them. And we simply don't have a choice right now. It's either HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and that's being changed to replacement therapy to take away, to take away the replacement. So it's hormone therapy and the natural way. And what we're looking for is more solutions, because we should give women options. There's women, different kind of women everywhere in the world, and some want more solutions, and that's what we're looking for. The other big thing is that we don't talk to women enough about how we don't educate. There's no education for women into coming into menopause. You go through your reproductive years. If you have a baby, you learn about that side, having the baby, pediatrics, all of postnatal, all of that. But there's absolutely nowhere where somebody tells you to get ready for perimenopause, which is some of the symptoms that you start experiencing potentially even a decade before you. Menopause is defined as 1 year after not having your period anymore. So that's a lot of time that women are actually going through a lot of biological changes, where we have no way of letting them know if it's happening, or anything to actually counter interact into with those symptoms. Some women start taking HRT now earlier, and that's also very highly contested because we haven't done the full research on it. So something like what Mario is working on is super crucial, because it could give us just yet more options to something that it's a huge life change for women. And we want to acknowledge that for some women, they do feel strongly about being this natural, and we want to respect that. But we also want to acknowledge that the reason the three of us are here is because of technological progress. The reason there are, what was natural is dying from heart disease. Now we have transplants. It was natural for babies to die if they were premature. Now we have incubators. So a lot of things that were natural, we did not just leave, we changed them. It was natural to not communicate across 3 continents, but now we're here. So we have to do this not only for women, but in general for society, because fertility has become a huge problem as well, going back to the fertility conversation. Some of the biggest tech people in the world are talking about this. And this is not about being a quote unquote pronatalist. It's not a right-wing position to think women that are older should be able to have babies in their 40s, because society has changed and we simply are not changing. We haven't changed enough for women, the research for women's biology, to figure out how to help them. There are now more women over 40 who want to have kids than women at 25. And people would be surprised how many of them would be having children if we had the technology that could allow them for this. And we simply don't. So this is not just about women, but it's also about the fertility rate that is dropping could be improved. Having these opportunities, when we're talking about designer babies, we should be talking about how to actually get the babies to happen more often. So we're excited because what Bar is working with is working both on the fertility side, that we can decouple from the menopause, and they can be 2 separate things, but they're almost like in the life sciences, they're 2 different verticals. And you can start with one and then go to the next, and people need to make that differentiation because it's 2 different opportunities and 2 different ways to target the problem from.
Okay, good.
I think, this would be a good point to remind everyone that Mario is currently fundraising for his research. You can check out more details about that sale on AthenaDAO's page. So if this is something you would like to learn more about like this intersection of how crypto can support women's research, head over to their page where you can learn more. But yeah, I think one of the things that this sort of discussion has also reminded me of is sort of, it is impossible to look at anything in the body in isolation. Everything is interlinked. And I know we've kind of touched on the fact that, menopause is linked to fertility, which is also linked to just general aging in the body. And so for those of you who don't know, there's kind of this paradigm that exists that is the 11 hallmarks of aging. It's very popular. I think especially like in even the VitaDAO community, it's these sort of 11 things that are believed to be the drivers behind aging. Oh, is that what? Or what's your dog's name again?
Yes.
Oh, mobile? No, mobile. That wasn't me. We're like muted. Mario, do you have a dog as well?
No, I have a dog,
Mobile didn't
but
make it
it's
to this call.
my daughter is practicing karate now in the living room now.
Oh, she's playing, so she's making a yes, fight for me. And you know,
Yeah.
a lot of what we're saying we're doing at AthenaDAO is not even for women. They have to realize that maybe the research won't touch somebody who's in their 30s or 40s, but this is for future generations. It's for your daughters. It's, you know, when I think of it and I talk to some of our funders, somebody like Mario, he's doing this for Martina now. And just because I cannot have it doesn't mean that people shouldn't have it in the future. Like, I hope that one day women don't have to make hard decisions on 25. They can make them later because they can trust the science and the technology, that they can do their full careers, be financially independent, find the man of their lives, do what they want to do, have a family when they are ready to have a family. And for more, you know, for them to also have all the choices they want when they're going to go through menopause. You know, that would be an amazing thing that because it is a compromised state of health for some women. They feel it very hard. You know, it's like not sleeping, which is one of the biggest drivers of aging. If you don't sleep, you're aging very fast. So not sleeping, hot flashes, brain fog. You're not even like operating at the same capacity, which is so unfair because you know you have the intelligence. It's just literally your body not like allowing you to make the connection there. So we're excited for women, but we're excited for obviously how the high impact of it could be, even when you think of your future generations, for your daughter, the daughters of your daughters, and things in the future. These to us are the moonshots that we need to focus on, because we can talk about going to Mars, but if we don't figure out reproductive technologies, we're going nowhere. We're not even continuing to populate the Earth.
Well, I mean, there's also all of these very scary statistics about how, you know, the population is in decline. We've got an aging population. There's this burden that's going to be coming. It's sort of this tsunami wave that is. I actually heard a great term. I think it was the silver tsunami, which refers to this rapidly aging population. I heard it the other day, and I liked it. But, you know, it is one of these issues that I think people are not aware that they should be stressed about. But, you know, there is an urgency and there is a need to kind of sort things out quite soon. So yeah, just reiterating what you were saying, Laura, is these future generations need this work.
So what I would love for Mario to do, because he's amazing explaining this, is to explain what the target of his research is and what would happen if it comes to fruition. Which we think it will. Like, that would be very exciting, Mario, if you tell them what exactly is going to do this moment. Like, tell us what it's going to do and what happens when it comes to fruition.
The principal idea of this project is to work about the inflammation with the famous mice, female mice I was talking before, knockout of NLP3. We discovered that the inhibition of NLP3 can improve the fertility during the aging in these mice, and this work was published in Science Advance. After this, we was thinking about more possibilities about the inflammatory environment in the ovary. The principal target in this project is about the thega-16 pathway. In this case, we know that the thega-16 pathway is associated to inflammation and the detection of DNA instability. And we know that during the ovarian aging, we have DNA instability in the different cells of the ovary, principally, mainly in the oocytes. We think that the inhibition of this pathway, and more concretely, the inhibition of STING, can improve the fertility. Actually, we now we know a lot about this, and we have a lot of finding about this project. We know that the genetic inhibition in mice about STING, we you heard my daughter. Sorry.
No, it's
It's
great.
great. It goes with the theme.
I hope she's
It's a free
kicking
speech.
ass.
Now we know that the genetic deletion or genetic inhibition of the STING in mouse can improve the fertility during more time in the mice, in the female mice. We know that the STING pathway, thiga STING pathway, is overexpressed during the aging in the ovaries from human, from female human and mice. After show this, the second idea was to design a drug, a small drug, which can induce the inhibition of STING during the ovarian aging and prevent the inflammation during the event of the aging. The third idea is to use this treatment to improve the fertility window and delay the ovarian aging and delay the time of this, the starting of the menopause.
Okay, interesting. And specifically, I would love to know. So I think the project, or they're currently raising 70K. Is that correct, Laura? It's around there, 73 maybe.
75.
75,000 USD. So, what would that money enable you to do?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Sure.
Yeah, what is Mario? What is the second milestone that you are doing?
The second milestone. Oh, yes. It's difficult to talk about the milestone because we have done a lot of work and finished very early the different first milestone of the project.
Yeah, we got the data came back like 6 months ahead of time.
But after 1 year,
Yeah.
the idea was to get the finding about the target. So, is STING a good target to improve the fertility? Yes, but the problem was that after 1 year we get the finding about the target and the several small drugs, and this small drug have shown a very significant potential effect to induce the inhibition of STING. So actually, we have the target well described, the small drug well characterized from in vitro experiment and in vivo experiment, and now we are starting the experiment to treat different conditions of the accelerated aging. The first experiment about the one very easy experiment about the ovarian aging is the chemotherapy. The first experiment using our small drugs in mice after chemotherapy treatment shown a very good and very interesting finding because improve the ovarian reserve and reduce the ovarian damage after the chemotherapy treatment.
After chemotherapy, right, Mario?
Yes.
Yeah. So the way we do funding in AthenaDAO is the researcher gets funding by milestones. Mario's came way sooner, and we decided that given how DSA is growing, everything that's going on, rather than us just funding the second milestone, we decided to conduct, with other people in the ecosystem to make it as an IPT, given the importance of these projects being also showing the metrics and success. We have another IP NFTs in the pipeline. So this kicks off our campaign on showing how many low-hanging fruits there are in women's health. It's funny because, sometimes we get I don't know how to do due diligence in women's health. Well, that's what we do. And that's why we want to show you that the things that we do due diligence on come to such great success. And Mario, for us, is one of our more promising pipelines. I mean, whether the IPT is a success or not. We are potentially going to do a spin-out company with him on this. That's a roadmap. So if this thing is IPT is successful, then those people in the IPT come with us on this journey. If not, they don't. But for us, the thing is putting the opportunity out there and show the success in DSI. We are the first project to have in vivo. And for those who don't know science, it takes a lot to get to in vivo. Because you can have, first data results on a screen or in vitro in a Petri dish has nothing to do with having it on an animal model. So I really want to stress that, because I feel like we talk these words and people don't understand. And it's super important that they understand there's a huge gap. It could be years of difference between in vitro data in the Petri dish and in vivo data with the animal model. Because when we have in vivo, we are way closer to an actual human. And it's still a jump from mouse to human. But the fact of the matter is that Mario already has a strategy for getting to that. When we had this discussion a year ago, he had a plan of 5 years. This is already being reduced by a year. So if we, now he's very excited because he knows he's going to go much faster. So we're going to get to something in a timeline that is very, very short. And we're very excited about this. And that's why we decided to make it an IPT. So the world knew about it. And it wasn't just secret. AthenaDAO, we get these assets out the door on ourselves. DSI is a great opportunity for researchers. Obviously, it is a great opportunity for people who believe in the science to be part of the science.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, in my time in DSI, I have never heard of a research project going faster than they thought it was going to go.
And I just want to say, Ella, that there's a lot of back work that Mario had done. So we also came at the right time in supporting him here. And he has patents. There's other indications that he can also look at. We know that even if it doesn't work, he could even potentially go into neurodegeneration, also gut health, many other verticals. So we're very excited about the potential of what he's developing here.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was going when I was talking about the hallmarks of aging, was that one of the hallmarks of aging, of course, is inflammation. And from what I understand, Mario sort of started off his research career looking at inflammation and then sort of went specifically to ovarian research. But the way the body is so interconnected is that any research done on inflammation is valuable to the body as a whole, because we all know inflammation not great for our bodies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's
the biggest, they're calling now inflammaging in the longevity field. It's a huge thing. So basically for those people that are optimizing and biohacking, the thing that you're trying to do is starve off inflammation. That's the whole thing. What you eat, not sleeping, inflammation. Eating spicy, inflammation.
Think about this. If we have the ovaries, the aged ovaries, which don't work more in the female body, and this ovary, which not work more, but induce inflammation in the same environment, can induce inflammation in all systemic body. So if the ovary is like, for example, an ischemic damage in the heart, if we have a heart attack, the ischemic area in the heart induce inflammation to the other areas of the heart and the other system. So the ovary is the same. Inflammation is a very significant event during the aging, and one of the most important hallmark of the aging. So if you think about inflammation, or you think about the other hallmark of aging, the other hallmark of aging induce inflammation at the same time. For example, one hallmark of aging is the DNA instability. The DNA instability induces inflammation. So it's important to stop or to delay or to prevent the inflammation. Yeah.
To your point, Ella, this, systems biology, it's all connected in one thing, and it's goes berserk, everything else goes berserk.
Yeah.
For women is the ovary. And it's very early in our lives, because women are living a third of their lives postmenopausal. So that's a lot of life. after that organ is
Yeah.
gone.
And especially, I mean, if AthenaDAO is successful, we're going to be living a lot longer, and so it would be really great to also push out that window as well.
Well, I like to say that we'll probably figure out how to delay ovarian aging faster than we'll figure out how to delay the entire body. Because,
you know,
and that's why Dr. Jennifer Garrison has gone for the past 3 years around the world saying we should study aging and the ovaries first, because it's an organ that you can do longitudinal studies. It's an organ, you know, it's such a good way to study how it would work out for the rest of the body. Because as we said, even when we talk about from a mouse to a human, there's a lot to say. So even from an ovary to a full human, there's a lot that we would have to figure out.
Okay. Yeah. So we kind of are close to wrapping up this session. I wanted to remind people that you have an ovarian aging researcher on the line currently. If you have any questions or any comments, yes, please send them through and we'll get Mario to answer them. I think on that note of sort of a community, I'd love to know what, aside from obviously contributing funds to get the research funded, what is the most useful aspect, or what could you want from a community currently, the community that you're part of?
Mario or ourselves?
Both. I mean, if you both got answers.
For AthenaDAO, I would say the funding. You know, we work very hard. Women's health is not a category that people are completely excited about. I don't know why. I say this all the time. I came from the luxury industry. Women are the biggest consumer in the world. 80% of the consumer spending in the US is done by women. 80% of the healthcare decisions at home are done by women. When that inflection point happens, the women realize the reason we don't have the solutions they want is because we're not researching them and we're funding them. It's going to be an onslaught. We're not there yet. It takes a lot of education. That's our role, to educate, to advocate, to get people involved. But we're dealing with a massive market gap. I think in 10 years, it's going to be studied as a massive business mistake. I say it, Bernard Arnault, one of the richest men in the world, did not have to wear a dress to understand the potential of what selling dresses to women was. He bought Dior in 1980, and now he heads LVMH, which is one of the biggest luxury conglomerates in the world, if not the biggest. We are that in the life sciences, and those who understand the market potential today, the opportunity, not just because of doing good, but because women want these solutions, are going to be in for a big surprise. So I think the big thing is, it might not sound sexy, but women's health is super sexy, because a lot of these things will require a lot of research, and there's a lot of low-hanging opportunities. So for those who are scientists, for those who are programmers, data scientists, we would love to talk to you. We try to point you in the direction of where the opportunities are, because there is a lot of opportunity in women's health. It's not as saturated as other areas in the life sciences. So scientists, please come join us. For community members, women, funders, come support, not only because you care about fertility and because you think this is cool, but because there's also so much potential here. And if you have more questions, we're a very open community. As I said, we have an AMA tomorrow. You can check out our socials. We can tell you how to fertility accelerate and why this is really cool. And we'll be online for the next 5 days until the auction closes. Again, we thought that it was super important to share this with the world, with the community, and for those who are into D-side, because of how much potential this has. And join us, because we're still early days. That's my side, but I'm going to let Mario, who's the scientist and who always has new ideas and can get more support, to speak also for himself. Mario, how can the community help? I'm sure he can say dinero.
Money, dinero, pasta. I think that the people which are not scientists, the more utile form to help is give money for the research. Uh, I think there are only two things, two forms to help scientists. Take one of your time to study also ovarian aging. The people who are not scientists, the money need to go to the research. It's the only things. It's the only way to delay the ovarian aging and the menopause. If I think if I can do something to delay my problem, is the research, and the research need money. It's the only things. It's the only way.
Just for context, I'm glad that Mario said that researchers, all of them spend a lot of their time looking for money. In the end, is funding the research, and researchers that are looking for ovarian aging funding spend the most time looking for it because it's not a hot area like oncology. There's no prestige for millions of Alzheimer's gets so much money. Longevity now gets more money and still is so tiny. So women's health is like, we did this visual in venture funding. Ovarian aging was second last of all the categories, second last at the bottom, and it was only after pets. So even our dogs, even Mobile, who everybody knows about, my dog, gets more chances to extending his life than women's ovaries do. So yes, save the ovaries, hashtag, it was Amazing Max from AthenaDAO who came up with that. And fund the research. That's why AthenaDAO is about science first, research first. We want to support people like Mario, researchers like Mario, and other researchers that we're working with funding. And that makes the biggest difference in the end.
Yeah.
Mario, we've got a question for you here from Jillian, and she says, are there any things women can do today to help delay ovarian aging?
Hi, Gillian. I think the better things which we can do now until waiting the research is the care of your body. Don't smoke, healthy diet, and one thing which is very important to delay aging in all contexts, sport. These three things are the most important things that which you can do to delay the ovarian aging, because these three things delay the aging, in the global aging. So I think it's the three better things which you can do: diet, don't smoke, and sport. And one more thing: enjoy the life. Yeah, I think
very
it's
important.
the most important things you can do. Huh?
Yeah, Mario's Spanish, so they do know about enjoying taking care of.
We know to enjoy about,
Yes.
about enjoy here. Yes.
Yes, good eating and family and community.
Yes. And life, the life in the street, the life with the people, talk with the people, enjoy the moment. I think is because I think one very important thing is you enjoy with the people talking about different things. Your mind is not thinking about the problem of, for example, get pregnant or ovarian aging. Take me time. I will do all my best to find the drug as soon as possible to finish with this, and during this time enjoy the life. Yeah?
I think that is such good advice. And I agree. I mean, when I asked the question, what can people do for the project, one of the other things I was thinking is just talk about it, get it out there, communicate with people like, hey, I've seen this project. It was super interesting. Did you know this? So kind of feeding into Mario's point, get on the street, have an Aperol spritz, and turn to the person next to you and say, hey, have you heard about ovarian aging? in a very casual, organic way.
Or retweet this video if you're online, chronically online, like all of us are. And you're absolutely right, Ella. Word of mouth is a huge thing, and support from the community. It's a big thing. So yes, if you're not doing that Aperol spritz, just do it online on a tweet or on Discord or anywhere that we use.
Yes. Another. I don't think this one's a question, but Gillian was saying that the concern about ovarian aging is very real. And she's saying that she knows lots of women who are concerned with freezing their eggs and are spending a lot of money and a lot of time freezing their eggs where they could be potentially supporting just slowing down ovarian research.
Freezing their eggs is tied to having the oocytes, right? So it's a little bit different. I think one very thing that women that go through cancer that will be offered to them is freezing their ovarian tissue. Like that's already done. And it's a very invasive procedure. And basically those women, it's an opportunity to fertility years after because they go into induced menopause. So that is one thing. And Jillian is absolutely right that women right now, we're trying to figure out every possible way that we could extend our fertility years or delay menopause. And right now, all the procedures are extremely expensive and the efficacy rates are very low still. It's not, I know of a clinic that does offer the ovarian freezing in Brazil. We're working with them. They're working on the patents to do it in the UK and other, but it's going to be considered like a cosmetic procedure. It's elective and it's a choice. And, they're developing better systems of doing it. But in the end, that's not for everyone. And what we're talking about is choices. And Jillian is right that if we could get more women to understand $50 today in research to a researcher is more valuable than $50 in supplements. Because you know what I mean? It's like, or we buy or women buy what we want. Like we'll buy, $30,000 bags because it makes us feel good. It'll be nice if we think, oh my God, $30,000 into science because I'm going to help change the game. And I know that it's going to happen one day. But, we're dealing with a lot of friction because women, I didn't know until 4 years ago. And I don't know, Ella, if you knew before, or Jillian, Jillian was in the pharmaceutical industry, probably she learned because of that. But if you're not exposed to science like we are constantly or we learned, it's not something that even very educated women are aware of. So our goal and our role at AthenaDAO is also to educate people, not just the scientific, not just DSci, but women in general, not because they're ignorant, but because it's not something that it's out there. So we really there's a lot of work to do. And as you said, word of mouth is a huge, huge aspect. That's why we did our AD Labs pop-up in San Francisco. And we're going to take that on the road because a lot of it is, we met women that didn't know about this. And the other thing is I meet women every day that say, do you think one day there's going to be more solutions for older women to have children? Every day. Yeah. So I guess that's like a good way to end.
I was just thinking the same thing. I think that's great. Mario, I would love to just say, do you have any closing statements? Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you to you because it's not possible. The research is not possible without your help. Mm-hmm. So the people help to AthenaDAO, AthenaDAO help us. So it's very important, this collaboration. Thank you so much for you.
Oh, warms my heart. And
thank you. Thank you, Ella, for being such a great hostess, and to Molecule for having us and supporting us through this journey.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Also, a reminder, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if you are interested in supporting Mario's research or would like to learn more about AthenaDAO and their mission, head over to their Twitter page. They got a great website going, Discord as well. You can find them on many different channels.
We're everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You'll find us. I code AthenaDAO, AthenaDAO. We're there.
Yes. And so sort of hop onto their channels and see how you can get involved and support. And
thank you so much. Until next time, when we come in with new data and more in 2 years, and Mario says, we found the molecule.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. And everybody who was here.